Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone has had a great weekend. It is the 15th of July, and you will notice... hey, Speedy, how you doing? I was looking at this trade here, actually. We had kind of two legs back, a little channel with a break and attempt at a low, and I was looking at that bar there, thinking there's going to be some shorts in there, and it did work, but because it's sideways, you don't know whether it's going to trick you, make a triple test and come down, because technically we've had a break. Sorry for your loss on the phone. It's all right, mate. Don't worry about it. I had when England equalised, it was 1-1. The odds of Spain scoring again was 7.5 to 1, so I put £10 on it, and they scored, and I cashed out for £65 profit, so I'm all right, actually. So I did all right out of it anyway. So if they win, great. If they lost, I'll make a bit of money. So it was kind of win-win for me. But yeah, I'm more of a cricket fan anyway. But you like to see your country do well, don't you? But yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. So you'll notice I've got 3 charts now. I was chatting to a couple of other people, and a lot of people trade 3 charts. So I've got them all slightly different. This is my main chart, and the other 2 charts... Let's have a look. This does look like it's pushing higher, doesn't it? Market is just opened. This is my main chart on the other 2. The only difference with these is I've got one at 9 days, deselected break OCO. And that one, I believe, is 10 days. So I've just done them slightly different. So all I was after was just for them to look slightly different. That's all. So all 3 charts look slightly different. So... the chance of getting a setup improves. Sorry about the mic. But there you go. So this looks like it may be attempting. So how do you have one? How do you have one screen? Let's just minimize them. Yeah. So the 2 screens you see to the left are on a screen above my main, and here, this one's on the left, which you can see at your top left. This was on the right, you can see at your bottom left. So yeah, I've just got two screens there, that one to my left, that one to my right on one screen. I've noticed there's a few people trading 3 charts. So the beauty of 3 charts, obviously, you can... because when I was trading on Friday, I saw a couple of people take a trade on a really good signal bar, but I never had it. And then when I had a change, I had the same signal bar, so I would have had a setup. So there's quite a few traders trading on with 3, 3. So I thought I might as well have a go at 3, see how we get on. So now... let me just have a look at this. There's probably a little bit of a channel there with a break. You got to be careful here because 1, 2, 3 could get a triple test, trap some longs, and this could come down. So there may even be a bit of a... so going long up there is a bit risky. See this on this chart here? See how it's triggered that and coming down? See if we get a higher low here. But I think this may be a bit of a trap. You can see it on there. It's probably even better on there. See how it's triggered that? So let's see if this is a trap or it's going to push up. If it pushes up, might not be a bad trade, but I have a feeling this is going to be a trap and it's going to stop out that bar there. We'll soon see. We'll soon see. Yeah, this is looking a bit dicey. This is... there is a second entry long there, but let's see if this pushes up. This might be a small risk, we'll see. See how this finishes. Wow. God, it's gone a bit big for me now, that was... let's get in on the limit order, see if it... no, just getting a bit... what I can do is swap over to either chart here. It's getting a bit too high for me now. It looks much better on these two than it does on here. Is it pushing up for the new highs? It may just be a leg and it come down, see, so... Does look like it's pushing up. Trouble is, it's hard to keep chasing it. We got a leg up. Does look like it's going to work. So 2 points from there. It wouldn't be out yet. So I'm just going to clear that now. It's got a bit too far for me now. We have got a leg with a break. Trouble is, if you hesitate, you can miss it. So we kind of had a break, and that higher low I don't think was bad. It was actually it was a smaller bar on here, so actually that was not too bad.
Order submitted.
Okay. So I'm taking this one effectively on a limit order, a couple of ticks back. I might just go out for a quick 100 here. Tell you what, let's put that there and just get out for break even. Don't come and get me. Come on.
Order filled.
Took me out. I'm still in one of them here, but they're all shut there, so I'm going to have to disconnect. This is a pain in the arse. I'm just going to have to disconnect Ninja Trader and then reconnect it. That's a pain. Just started, seems to be going a bit sideways there. See if it gives us a second entry long. Why not take that high low bullish bar? Yeah, well, I kind of did, but I got it on a limit order. It didn't go up that far, see? If I look at it from here, let's see where we are now.
Order submitted.
Let's get it there. Just going to get out for a quick 100 here. There'll be some liquidity there, I think. Come on.
Order filled.
Okay. Are we out? Yeah, we're out. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, quick 100. We'd already gone so far. Didn't want to wait anymore. Yeah, so I should have waited there, to be fair. So that was the one I got back in on a limit order. What concerned me was when it broke above this and started to come down, because we're getting close to these highs. So yeah, it clearly worked anyway. Clearly worked nice, but yeah, sometimes I don't know. I'm just very suspicious at the moment. But it worked nice. It worked fine. There was a second entry long and a higher low there, so that was the trade to take. I think I should have waited. The higher low, so comfortable 2 points easily, no problem. Okay, so I got a quick. Let me have a look. So yeah, I got. It's weird, isn't it? I got. Let me have a look. Some I got $80 odd on, and some I got 100 and that. So I think I averaged. Well, yeah, I got $915 on there. So I averaged about $90. So yeah, I got basically a point. Yeah, I should have let it go, really, shouldn't I? But the trouble is, lately I just feel very suspicious of these trades. I don't really know why. But yeah, I mean, there was a bunch of things and they were all saying the same thing. This chart here, let's say, call it your bottom. We got a break, 2 legs down, a high, second entry long, followed by a higher low. That was the one to take. But when it came back, I thought I'll put it there, break out even, and it took me out for 1 tick. And then we had 2 legs back, came right the way down, nice strong push up, and that's when I opened Ninja Trader again and jumped straight in there. For a quick 100, I just wanted to get above there. So this to me now is probably one channel, I'd say, the way it's operating, because it's pushed up and made a new high. So I have got it one channel on here. So yeah, I have this little trust issue at the moment because there's so many traps around, and sometimes when you see something, you've got a leg up with a break, you've got a second entry long, a higher low, and another second entry long there. It kind of looks a bit good to be true, too good to be true, doesn't it? But I think when you see it, you've just got to take it and just leave it. And I think that's where I tend to get a little bit lack of trust in at the moment. But it's okay. It's all part of my journey. But, you know, I got a quick $900 on it on the account. So it's been a good start. But I could have got a bit more, but there was 2 possible trades there. Yeah, the higher low I think was the better one there, and the second entry along there, another good one, and that clearly worked beautifully. So depending where you took that trade, if you took that trade there on the nail, if you'd have taken 6 ticks, you quite possibly got into there as well, into that trade there. I don't like getting into 2 trades at the same time, just because if you're misreading one of them, you may be misreading them both. So let's just see now whether we got a bigger channel. So yeah, I just have some trust issues, but there you go. Is there a... Let's just link these two. Sometimes you get an easier picture. It may just be something like that, in all fairness. Could have sort of 2 legs down, a retest, a higher low, and then up we go. So this... There may be a second leg here, so let's just put that there and that there after that correction. So that would take us up above all-time highs again, but we've had this drop and this push-up. But it's weird, isn't it? Where was it? We had this big drop down, didn't we? On, was it Thursday? And then Friday, we literally took every tiny little bit of it back right to the nearest tick. It's weird, isn't it? We thought we were going to get a big correction, but look, one day later, where are we? Right back to where we started. So, let's keep this in mind. Let's put that there as a news. So yeah, if I'd have just held my nerve there and just got into the trade and just left it, but these trust issues, but it's all part of the journey. They'll improve as my accounts grow. You know, if I've got $10,000 in each account, I'll be quite comfortable sitting there with a $200 risk, you know. But I don't know. I'm just a little bit paranoid at the moment. I think the way these markets The way these markets are. Let's put that there, but no more. So, channel, 2 legs back, another retest, higher low, push up, little break, little pullback, and then slowly up for a new high. So that channel now was played out. So we could technically now have a reversal. But I'll go as far as to get rid of that now, because I think it's just this with a break, 2 pushes up to a new high. So let's look at this. Wow, all that Trump stuff over the weekend, man, that was shocking, wasn't it? I wonder if that guy realises how lucky he is. I mean, you don't want to say someone's lucky after an assassination attempt, but man, you can't get any closer to a head than an ear, can you? Well, that was shocking, that was. Unbelievable. Just goes to show, doesn't it? And your normal life, or well, if you can call Trump a normal life, but all of a sudden things can change dramatically, can't they? But man, he was one lucky guy. I'll tell you what, I'll be buying a lottery ticket. I would be. Man, that was scary. I'm just surprised that they didn't see it. They didn't see it coming. Surely they'd be sweeping the area. They'd have drones up. How the hell could they miss a guy laying on a roof? Weird, isn't it? Weird. So, channel, break, whether it's a single channel or a double, I've put it as a double now. Reason being is because we've had a break and a new high. So whether there was a larger channel there, I think is irrelevant now. I don't think it is now. We've got this channel coming down. So whether we're going sideways or whether this is going to turn into a big range day, who knows? So not a bad start to the day. Yeah, I should have just gone in there, but I don't know. You know, sometimes when you think this looks a bit too good to be true. I mean, this chart here, the bottom chart, your bottom left, is a lot clearer than the other one. So I love the fact that when I'm going for a setup, I can just have a quick glance at the two. If I drop an order in here now, it's on all 3 charts, so I can just grab whichever one I want and drop it into place. So if this looks better, I can drag that and drop it into place. So I love that.
Cancelled.
It's really useful. So it doesn't matter what chart I put it on, as long as it's the better one. It didn't look as clear here, although that clearly did. But the best chart, I think, was this one. In fact, that was pretty good as well. That one looked pretty good. So did that. So let's have a look at this. Can I suggest any switch trading YouTube channels to learn switch trading? When you say switch trading, what do you mean, bud? Do you mean having different, the same chart but different? I don't think there is anything. Oh, swing trading. It's something I've never really done, to be honest with you, mate. A lot of people, you know, swear by this ICT stuff, fair value gaps. But I've just something I've never really done, so I wouldn't like to say. The best thing you can do is just browse YouTube, just look around. Swing trading. It depends what you mean swing trading as well. Do you mean sort of trading over a couple of days, or you know, or just trade in the morning and, you know, buying them and waiting like this? Yeah, I think you just have to work around. Think about what you want. Whether you want to swing trade for a day or over, because swing trading, I think typically we're from maybe half a day to 2 days, possibly. So channel break, new low. So I won't be thinking about going short here because we've made a new low. Also, there's a possibility of a range. It's a bit too early to tell yet. So I'm just going to put that there as we've had a little bounce here and say that we may. Let's keep that. Let's keep that there for now. Yeah, let's just put that there for now. We've had a break and a new low, so this looks like, I think it's probably lightly ranging at the moment because we've already had a break and a new high from here. It's come back far enough that it's very likely or very unlikely there's any type of a bigger channel. There may be, but it just, all this just doesn't look quite right. I'd more prefer that type of a channel, but I think it's maybe a bit premature at the moment to do something like that. So for me, I think it's just lightly ranging at the moment. So the beauty about these two smaller screens is I only really need the current price action zoomed in. This is the chart that's telling me what's happening. I'm just zooming into these two there, really. So it's a lot easier to see these when they're zoomed in. I don't need to see the rest of this chart because obviously the bigger chart's telling me exactly what the picture is. So channel up with a break. We're sort of nipping into that midline at the moment, which is creating, you can see it there and along there. It's created a little bit of support. So going long here at the moment. In fact, there may even be a larger channel down. Still a bit early yet, but we've actually had this channel. Eventually, we've had two legs back, or a leg and a retest at a high low. Push up, little bit of sideways up, little bit of sideways, and a new high eventually. So this could reverse now. So, and the way that's gone up to the midline and coming down, it may be there may be a down channel going on there. So fits nice there actually. What I'm going to do from now on in the evenings or afternoons, depending on where you are, if I don't take any type of a trade in the daytime, I'll finish around my normal time, 5:30 UK time, have an hour break for some dinner, and then come back and trade for another hour and a half. So I'll do that if I don't take a trade. How do you make your orders appear on both chart? Okay, so if you look at both charts, they're all identical. They're both ES and they're both 2000 tick chart, and I've got exactly the same account. So I'm copy trading my accounts. So I've got exactly the same account in all three of them. You see what I mean? So if I open up an order, let's say here, buy limit,
Order
it'll open
submitted.
on all three of them. It's down there. So if this is a better chart or this, I can drag it in on either chart, whichever the best setup. So because it's the same account, they all pop up. Yeah, so it's useful. So I don't have to mess
Order
around
cancelled.
setting, if I'm looking at a setup, I can just open one ear and then sort of zoom in on these two as well and just see which is the best looking chart. So it's quite useful like that. I thought I might have to do it a little bit different, but it works nice that way. So this to me now is definitely looking very rangy, the fact that we've bounced there. So I'm going to get rid of that for now. So we've pushed up to the midline. There may be two attempts to go high. This may come down. So I would say, yeah, small high there. Channel down. Two attempts to go higher and then down. So this could fail and come down. It depends. 4 little touches there, so that's a reasonable need for a bounce. So let's see if this thing comes down now. So we got a leg down, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher. I'd like to see this push through that EMA. Okay, I'm not going long here. This could be a trap. Twice now we've bounced at this midline. So I have a feeling that this may get triggered and stopped out. And on that chart, you can see it starting to happen. I'll be amazed if that doesn't get stopped out. And it is a lower high. So channel down there, 2 attempts to go high. We haven't pushed that EMA, so I'm not thinking about a short. It could still go up. But that's not what you want to see, it trigger and come down. But it has held the first time, so maybe it will. But just that bouncing twice on that midline is enough for me to not think about going long. Yeah, this is coming down, this is. It'll stop out that, I think. That long there, higher low. It's gone too far for a higher low, really. It's just a first break of a channel. But that is, it's gone. The fact that it's hit that midline twice, it hasn't got stopped out yet. So we could have a second entry long, but it will do. I'm pretty sure of it. There's liquidity there for sure. Twice we've bounced still on that line now. So possible second entry long. I'm staying out of this at the moment because there could be a double trap there. I'll be amazed if it doesn't drop below that line. So it may push up, trap that bar there, that bull bar, and then come down because there'll be some longs in there quite likely. It's choppy as hell here. Look at this. It's almost like a piano string is forming. But yeah, let's see if it works on this. I think it'll come down and stop that out. I think it's got to. There we go. So if you had a push up there and you thought, well, let's go long. We've had 2 bounces, let's go long. It's triggered you and then eventually stopped you out. You just can't go long there really because we've had a channel down and 2 attempts to push higher and each time it hasn't worked. So I think it's fair game that it's likely now to come down and retest this area here. But there's no short setup to be fair. So, but I think this is likely where it's going to go. Unless we get a 3rd attempt. There's no real liquidity up here, see? There is down there. So after we've had that leg down, 2 attempts higher, I think it'll target this area. Especially as it's only gone up to the midline, surely that area, surely there has got to be taken, you think? Have you tried YM? I haven't, bud. What I found is when I was trading the CL as well, I wasn't focusing enough time on one chart. What I was doing is focusing more time on this. And what I did, one thing I noticed is I looked back later and I saw a quick setup on the CL and jumped straight into it without zooming out and figuring out exactly what it was doing. So I didn't feel I owed it to myself to give enough concentration to both, and I found it a bit difficult to do. But whereas I like about this, so many times we have a setup with a naff signal bar and it ends up doing what we think it's going to do anyway, but we can't take it because the signal bar's poor. With this slight adjustment, it gives us 3 charts with exactly the same overall picture and overall signals, but when it comes to a setup, you've got 3 different options for a good signal bar, because as we know, a lot of the times, a lot of traders, if they see, like this one, on this main chart here, we had a push up there, 2 legs back. A lot of traders will have orders down here and they will get out up here or here. We actually wait for a bar to form, although we pretty much know after a break and a couple of legs we're going to attempt the high. So if you'd have taken that trade, came back, but you'd have got out here. So if you took that trade, bought that down there and took it up here, but we don't do it, see. So it is frustrating to see the market go where you're pretty sure it's going to go anywhere and not have a signal bar. Which is what I like about this. So if I look at these, where was the actual trade I took? I can't even remember what chart it was on now. It was this one. So that's the trade I took. Why didn't that work? Okay, that second entry long, I actually got into this one there, but I got in a bit late and it came back, so I put my thing at break even and it just took me out. And then one of the accounts in NinjaTrader, it had all closed down in Rhythmic, but one of the accounts in NinjaTrader, so I had to shut NinjaTrader and reopen it. And when I reopened it, we had that nice second entry long confirmation that we're going to push up, so I jumped in there. This chart here, it was nice as well, but down here, there wasn't a second entry long, and if you look here, it was more congested. So the fact that this wasn't congested or this, so I got options here. That's the beauty I like, and I only really need to focus on one chart. I can keep my eyes on this almost permanently, and then when we're coming to an area where I think, oh, if you get a second entry long, I can just glance top left and top right, which takes a second. I don't have to worry about what the market's doing in general. I already know. Okay, possible 1, 2, 3 triple test. Come down 1, 2, 3. That's a triple test there. It hasn't triggered anyway, so so I'm staying out of this at the moment. So it's targeting that liquidity, I think, isn't it? I thought it might have a go at this one. So no signal bar here to go short, but look at these two. If you wanted to go short on a triple test, much better signal bars on both of those, but nothing here. But the context isn't right for me. It's a bit sideways, and it's a bit rangy, so it still may go to the top yet. But it is picking off liquidity. So that was the actual trade, but it was on that there. So I'm going to mark it on that one. So let's call that a point. So let's call that a second entry long. And it was a point I went for, wasn't it? I carried it out plus point. I need to start dropping a trade in and forgetting it, because I'm missing out on potential profits. If I lose a trade, I lose the full amount. But if I win a trade, I need to make sure. So there's 1, 2, 3. There's 5 or 6 trades now where I should have gone out for 2 points and I only took a point. So I'm doing myself out of quite a few fair few $1,000s. It's a bit too early, I think. But there is a possibility of maybe a larger channel. I don't know. Leg up with a bright new eye. That's a bit early, I think. Is your main chart? Yes, it is, but I'll show you quickly so you know. So my main chart is 7 days and it's got break at end of day. Now, all I would suggest here is on these two smaller charts, deselect break at end of day and just change the days loaded so they look a little bit different. I had to look, actually. These didn't look much different, but when you zoom in, they do. A lot of the times you'll get a full bullish bar here, and on here you may get a bullish pin bar. It's giving you the same information, but just different. So if you look where that trade was here, we got a doji there finishing right on its high, and there it's more of a, there's more green. You see what I mean? So all I want to do is make sure all three of these charts look slightly different, and that way I get 3 different options for a better signal bar. But you've still got to take the right context. Just because it's a second entry long doesn't mean you can take it. The context is still got to be right. But the beauty is I can keep zoomed in nice and close on this, because all I'm looking at is the detail on the main chart, so I can keep this zoomed in. In fact, I will mark this chart as well, so I know where the thing is, because I'm zooming up here. You can't see what I've got there. So, but the good thing is I only really need to focus on one chart. They do require a lot of concentration, I've found, and sometimes when you're looking at 2 charts, if you're looking at, if you're taking something here, you're looking at a setup and you're focusing on it for 10 minutes, and all of a sudden you see a setup on another chart, it's very easy to forget the overall context and to take it and to get stopped down. That's what happened. So I just found out I'm not focusing enough on the 2, so this is a better option. I know Taylor trades a couple, and there are a few others as well in Thomas's Discord that change a couple. I'll tell you what I'll do for you quickly. I'll put something on the screen quickly, and then you can come back to it later. So he won't mind me showing this. So Taylor actually made this little bit of an information, and I'll put it on for you. Where is it? Let's have a look. It's about double chart settings. So I'm going to put this on for you quickly, and then do it later. So if I make this a bit larger. So I'm going to bring this in quickly. And then just freeze it and go through it later. So this is it. Welcome to double chart settings. So I'll leave that there for a minute. And you can just freeze. It explains exactly what to do. And I'll move it up to there. That's the second bit of it. And then I'll move it up to there. That's the third bit of it. And the last little bit, the rest are just comments. A few cons as well. But there you go. He won't mind me showing you that. But that's basically what you need to think about trading 2 charts. But it's pretty straightforward, really. It's pretty straightforward. Keep this one. So select the data series up here. It looks like a fist with a little square around it. Keep that break at end of day selected and do 5 or 7. And all I've done is change the other days to 1 to 7, 1 to 9. I don't think it's really relevant. Just make sure they're slightly different. So if you look at these now, these 2 here, that's a big red bearish bar, and that's a bearish pin bar with a sort of a blue thing. So both of these are slightly different. And this is as well. So you've got options then. And you can zoom into here. You don't even need to pay attention to these until we come to an area where we may get a setup. So much better, I think, just to focus on one chart. So we got a leg up and a bunch of sideways, so we may continue up above this. We got all-time highs up here again, which we continuously seem to be bouncing off. We bounced there, we bounced there. So this looks like a third attempt. So we got a leg up, 2 attempts to go lower and then up. So but yeah, the beauty of this is you can keep zoomed in here, and this is just for the setup. But yeah, just change your days until you get a slight variation. If you've got a slight difference in all 3 charts, then you've got 3 chances to get a slightly better setup. Because a lot of the time, you know, the difference may be 2 or 3 ticks in taking a trade or leaving a trade. So we've had a break at this. 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go. I could bounce from here and come down. It's always possible. Let's make sure I'm not missing anything here. But the trouble is, when you are focusing on a chart, you really need to. And sometimes just a quick glance onto a different, you know, onto oil or the NASDAQ isn't enough really to get you into a trade safely. Might work for some people, but for me, I think this, especially scalping as well, it's quite fast stuff. You're making quick decisions, and I think your eyes on one screen, apart from when you're looking at a set. If we have 2 legs down here, I can just quickly glance. It takes me half a second. If I put an order on here, it's on all 3 charts, so I can just move it in whichever chart looks the best. So little channel with a break, 1 push up to a new high, maybe a 2nd push up. So that's interesting on there. You've got a big bull bar there, which is triggered. So whenever I say that, I kind of think that's going to get stopped out, because going long there in the middle of nowhere is kind of asking for trouble. So there's going to be liquidity there. So I would expect that to break below there. Whether it will or not is a different thing, but there is a possibility of a bigger channel here, so I would expect this to come down a bit more. So I would expect this to break below this line, because it's trapped that bull bar there. It's only done on the 1 chart, but there's going to be liquidity there, so let's see. And also going along there, when we've already bounced here, I think is a bit risky again. If I took a long there, I'd expect that to lose. And an extra tick. Yeah, there you go. So when you spot these weak bars, it helps you keep out of bad ones. So I wouldn't be in the market for a long here either, because we've bounced a couple of times in, we've bounced again, and it's very much looking like a range. So going long here is a big no-no. Although on this chart there is a 2nd entry long, but because it does look very sideways, that I think is a bit extra risky. It may work, there may even be a bigger channel up there, but it's a trade that I'm not prepared to get into. There may be a bigger channel there, but until we get up this, I'm not even thinking about going along yet. If we can get a failure, that might be an option. I like the fact that we've bounced. If we can get just below that EMA, maybe get a failure. So if we can get a bull bar here on one of these charts and tick above it. But to be fair, I think this may just start to just drop straight down. It took the triple test short up here. Break even when it started, it's going down there, dropping. Yeah. Trouble is, in real time, you just never know, do you? So it's very easy. Well, it's not that easy to make a decision when you don't know where the market's going to go. I mean, just by the fact that you took a short, you're telling me you think the market's going to go down. And looking what we're looking at now, down would be the most obvious place, wouldn't it? See if we get a failure here. But yeah, I tend to get into these trades and kind of lose me bottle when I get in them. So that's triggered. So I'd like to see a failure here. But that, looking at that chart, it is a second entry long, so it may go up. It may be a strong enough position. You don't know whether there's going to be a larger channel, say. So let's see what happens. Sometimes you get a bar like that, and then people jump in and it triggers above and comes down. But this is looking like it is trying, so... Also, it may trap some longs. Seems to be starting to go up, but let's have a look. There is a possible failure there, but for me, I think it's gone up a bit too much. If it closes bullish, yeah. I don't mind one bar, but then I expect the next bar to tick above it and then come down. This to me looks like it might be trying to... It may get to these highs. There'll be some liquidity there for starters, which is not that far away. Is it the strongest short there? It's not the strongest short. That would be a little bit better. So it may go up and hit that. But that's a sort of, may call it an educated guess. Doesn't mean it's going to. So that's from that bar there. If you took that bar there, it's gone up quite far. So unfortunately, I can't take that. Excuse me a sec. Okay. Yeah, a lower high below the EMA may be an option to come down then, but at the moment there could be something larger working. We've had that leg up and some sideways. Often, as we know, you then get a second, it's, makes a few attempts to go lower, and often we push up then. But let's just see if there is any possibility of something larger. It's possible. But not ideal just at the moment. That actually doesn't fit too bad. So it may work, but I wouldn't want to be going a long year into this just in case. See, look at this chart here. That actually doesn't look too bad. There's a higher low there. It's trapped 2 bear bars. That's tempting. There'll be some liquidity above them for sure. How do I feel about it? Do I trust it? Not now. Definitely not now. So yeah, I'm just this. It's getting quite wicky on one of these charts. So especially this one here. So you just don't know. It could spike up or spike down. I think it's likely there's going to be some stops above there. and there as well. So it may come down and take that out, or it may just turn quickly and shoot up. Yeah, I'm not sure at the moment. It's definitely ranging at the moment, but this range could change. So look at that all of a sudden. So we could have a channel down here, one attempt to go lower, higher, second attempt, and this second attempt could trap this bull bar here because there's a failure. So I don't think it's a bad trade, but that's assuming we're having a leg and another leg. So you've got to be careful here. It may work, it probably will, but the trouble is, let's have a look. Yeah, Taylor's in there. Oh, Taylor's in this trade here, so maybe this might work. You just got to be so careful here because it could trigger you and come down. Channel, break, and then down. Let's have a look. Yeah, so Taylor got in here. And this is coming back. He's still in, so this could be a trap, this. That's, yeah, I think this is coming down. I do at the moment. I think that's a trap. I wouldn't expect Taylor to get trapped. It's tough on this. It could go either way, this. Channel down with a break. One attempt to go higher. Second attempt to go higher. Trapping some longs. This could come down. Yeah, Thomas Wade's saying he's not sure. I'm not either. It is holding, but that could turn quickly. I have a feeling one attempt to push up and a second attempt to push up. I think this is going to come down and take that out because there'll be some liquidity there and liquidity there. Also, we are ranging, so from these tops, this is a 50-50 for me. But yeah, a lot of other people saying into the top of a range, not for me. Yeah, need to see more, same feeling. So this is risky. My gut tells me that trade isn't safe. Now, it may end up right up here, but at the moment, we just be guessing it was going to go up here. So for me, I think that bar's going to get stopped out. That's my gut feeling. Now, it might be right, might be wrong, but I'm not confident enough to get into a trade here. Because one, this channel is at a break and it's played out. We've come down and we've had a break of this channel, so we tried to go up once. We've come back and this is a second attempt to try and go higher. And if it fails, this thing will come down here and it'll take out that stop and that stop. Taylor's in this trade at the moment, so he may hold on or he may get out. It may work because it is starting to look like it's climbing along there, so it may work. Sometimes they just do work, they grind die, but that ain't gone very far at all. Look at that. You wouldn't even got you'd have got half a point out of that. And to the top, it's a 1.5. It's just too risky for me at the moment. If you'd have gone one tick above that bar there, you'd have got half a point. It may work because it is slowly pushing up. It is actually a failure as well. It looks better on this chart, but the only thing that puts me off on this chart here is it's very wicky, and when it's like that, it pushes up, drops quick, pushes up. As it's trying to push up, there's a lot of selling pressure, push it down, and same again. So when it's very wicky with the wick ends to the top, I think that's risky. Now look at this now. If you're in that trade now, your arse will be twitching like a good one. Taylor's still in it. What do you got out? I think he made... No, he wouldn't have done yet. It is holding slowly. I still don't trust it. It may work. Taylor's got his stop. up here. About sorry, his profit there. So it does look like it's you got out for one tick. Good on you, mate. I just don't trust this. It is trying, but sometimes when it goes up very slow like that, often it comes down really quick. Traders. He'd be out now, I think. Yeah, he's out now. So it did work, but it's very risky. Very risky. If you take risky trades, it might be for you. But not for me. Yeah, that's the trouble. And the thing is, you never know. I mean, we got this push up here. We could come back in an hour and price might be up here. But it also could be down here. Got a nice setup bar. That's Taylor's there. See? It's not a failure on his. It's just a higher low. He's taken that one. My mistake. He didn't take the higher low. So that one, he'll be out now, I think. So he took this one. I think he's got his stop around about here. So he's taking his points around about here. So it is working slowly, but going long into that, it is risky. That's what I like about Thomas Ways to Score. I get to see what Thomas's opinion is as well, and a few other traders. And if you hear a few people saying it's a bit risky, need to wait. I can just match it to the way I'm feeling about it, and I had the same sort of feeling. You don't want to miss out on a trade, but if you're not sure or something's giving you a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling, I always think you're best off holding on to that feeling. Because when you get more experience at this, and I consider myself still relatively inexperienced, but I do notice the difference. That there's a lot of gut feeling about this based on experience. Ooh, I've been here before, I've seen this before, that type of thing. You know, when you get that feeling that, ooh, I've seen this before and I've lost trades here before. And I think when you feel like that, it's a good indicator to stay out, I think. Unless you just play the numbers, maybe 70% of the time it might work. Now, it's not enough for me to get into a trade, but it's enough to make profit. So if you don't mind taking the losses and you'll happily play the numbers game, maybe like Bart, he plays a numbers game and he does it brilliantly. It doesn't seem to worry him losing trades, and he'll just wait for the next one and get back in and commit. I'd love to have a bit more of what he's got, in all honesty. But he's more experienced than me. I expect my experience and confidence and belief to grow year after year. So, where are we with that higher low? I don't like it when it's wicky. So if you went a tick above there, you're still not out for a lot. You'd have got a point because it'd have to push through. So there's not a lot of space at the top really. So this does look like it's working. But you're only still at that same point. So for me, it's not worth risking it just for a point. If the trade goes sideways and I take a point, then I'm happy with it. But I don't really want to get into a trade for a point risk. So it's not a massive risk. It's 2.5 point risk, which is not huge. That's what I like about Bart. He'll leave his profit there. Me, once I start kind of seeing it sideways, I'm ready to get out. But he'd just leave it. And 9 times out of 10, price comes to him. I like that. There'll be some liquidity there. You can guarantee it. So if we can get above there, 2 points or whatever you went for, you comfortably get. But we are struggling. You can see it there. Did anybody notice when that guy took a shot at Trump, Bitcoin spiked? How the hell does that happen? What makes something like that happen? Unbelievable. Okay, so if you'd have had your patience and you'd have sat on it, you'd have still only had a 1.5 really. You're going to be looking at 2 points. And XRP up to, yeah, XRP's had it. I've got a little bit of money in waiting for a pullback. I've got £1,000, 500 on Solana at $129 and 500 on Bitcoin at $54,000. I only tend to get it when we get a pullback. What I like to do is get it, make 20. Yeah, I like to get it, make 20% and sell it. Just catch the swing. So whenever you get a decent drop, 10 or 15%, I tend to buy a bit. And most of the time, I'll make a little bit of money. Okay, so at the moment, if you'd have got a tick above there, oh, there we go. There's your 2 points, but you've got to push through it. I think it's pretty much going to make it, isn't it? There'll be some there, yeah. So if you're well done there, good on you. Like Max says, don't monkey with your trades. And I find my experience is most times, if you're in a good, strong position, and I don't think that's a terrible bar, a lot of times it will just work. So I think that's the difference between me and someone who just, hopefully, with time, my confidence will get better and I'll just, when you're trying to build an account, you've only got a $2,500 drawdown. It's not a lot. And things can go wrong and you can soon start to absorb that. But once my accounts get to a bit of a cushion, then I'll drop my order and leave me trade, because I know for the most it works. So maybe we may have our second leg up now. If this doesn't just fail, it could just fail, but push up. One attempt to go lower, maybe a second attempt, and then a retest and up. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, how markets react sometimes. In what? Your ex-president gets shot and the markets rocket. Why? Why do people... I don't understand how it works. You think, if anything, it would do the opposite. Mind you, we had those weird days, didn't we? Was it last week? We had... where was it? Okay, so we had that... Was that PPI? It wasn't CPI, was it? So we had a spike down... What's that, 20 points? No. Yeah, and they're on 20 points. So it went from here to here, 17, 18 points, and then ended up rocketing up. And we had this, is that the same opposite the other day? We had that spike up, and then we dropped 90 points. Doesn't seem to make much sense, does it? So it was ridiculous price action, yeah. Made it, yeah, it doesn't make much sense, does it? Mark E. I got quite a good memory. I don't think I've seen you before, have I? Where are you from, bud? I think you're a new face. Some people just do sit in the background, and occasionally. In fact, most of you guys know I like my single malt, and I sat here one day 7 or 8 months ago, and I opened a bottle of Balvenie at the end of the day on a Friday, and some guy jumped up and he says, I've been sat in the background, I haven't said a word for 6 months, and he said, I heard that cork pop, and my ears pricked up. So, oh, you're Berlin? Are you in Berlin for the football then, I'm assuming, are you, if you're from the UK? Can't see any other reasons why you might be in Berlin, unless you're ex-military or something like that. Berlin, or did we talk last week briefly? Oh, you live in Berlin? We have talked before once, I think, haven't we? Or have we? Berlin. So you're not ex-military at all, no? Currently in Austria, though. I went to Austria myself. You are ex-military. Okay. Got you. Yeah, I'm an ex-military brat. So we did Munster and Lemgo back in the early 70s. Yeah, I believe it's changed a lot. Oh no, okay, I got you. So just for now, I'm just going to pop a couple of legs there because that's a leg up. I just want to know where this is likely to flatten out. So we are ranging. There is a possibility this could be a breakout that may fail. But based on what I'm seeing with that push up and a break and a retest and a new high, and then another couple of attempts followed by a retest and a push up, it may go higher. Okay, so that's my first target. Let's make sure this is right. So leg and a leg up. I think it's gone too far now to be a breakout. Sorry, to fail. Does look like another leg, but we are sort of skirting up against this midline, so we may get a break. I'd like to see it touch that and then come back for a bit of a break. Don't think there's a larger channel there or the start of anything. Maybe there is. Possible. It's a bit early though. Feels a bit better to me. We got very close to that leg. Point or even less. Okay, excuse me just for a quick minute. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay, so possibly a couple of legs down. We've got a first entry on this, on both of these charts, but not on this yet. Okay, just 1 second. Okay. Okay, so let's see if we get a couple of legs back here. So leg, hopefully another leg. Still some room to this. And two all-time highs as well. So I think we got far enough up. I'd like to see a pullback now. A couple of legs back before I think about going long anyway. Mm. That fits a little better. Touch, 3 touches on the top. I think there is a trade event. I believe there is, mate. Yeah, I can only trade with make accounts. Trade event gets rejected. Yeah, somebody I noticed on one of the Facebook groups, someone said there was a trade of 8 issue today. Let me have a look. Someone put on Thomas Wade's group as well. Let me see if I can find it. They have been doing some updates, haven't they? So hopefully, I believe things are going to move towards a lot smoother trading. They haven't really said too much, but I know there was some emails going around on Friday afternoon saying about updates to make things work a lot better. So take that with a pinch of salt. Take what you will of it. But hopefully we may get some smoother. I'm trying to find it. Yeah. Okay, just a heads up for Apex Top Step traders. Trades by Matt posting in the Discord. The Trader X experiencing issues on both platforms. Yeah, so just I thought most of you guys trade on Rhythmic, don't you? I have too. It says my account is halted. Oh, great. It is a ball ache, innit, I got to say. I mean, you come here, you pay your money, you do your accounts, you expect to be able to trade, don't you? I know it's frustrating, but from what I can gather, from what I've sort of heard a few rumours around that Apex are changing data providers in a couple of months. So, and there were some emails going around saying systems will be down over the weekend because they were doing some updates. I don't exactly know what. I wish it'd be nice for Daryl to come forward and say, okay, you know, we've had problems with Rhythmic. It's out of our control to a certain degree, but we need to obviously do something about it to keep customers happy. Hopefully he may come, because we've not heard nothing from Daryl for quite a while. You know, now and again we get little videos coming out about this, that and the other, so it'd be nice to get something just to sort of, you know, put our minds at rest, because people get fed up. You know, I know they say it's not strictly down to them, but the trouble is, if you haven't got a stable platform, then people will stop trading, or you know, might consider their own small pot without using Rhythmic, and you don't really want to lose customers. So I think sometimes you've got to keep customers updated in what's happening. So TradeAbout is nice, since you can trade that with NinjaTrade and another Rhythmic connection too. And Replicanto, yeah, I've never used it, to be fair. I started with Rhythmic and I've just only ever really used it. But I do wonder, the problems seem to arise when Apex started to get a lot more popular. And obviously, if you've got lots of customers using lots of data and trading news events and stuff like that, it makes sense that it's probably going to have some problems. Quantower, you can have as many Rhythmic. Yeah, I believe you can. I did download Quantower a couple of weeks ago, and I've had a little play around with it. Just, you know, I don't know whether anything may change in the future, but you kind of don't know where you're going to end up, do you? Whether you're going to end up taking, you know, a chunk of money from Apex and trading your own money, or whether I think it's always useful to take advantage of these prop firms, because you can, you know, make some decent money without risking a lot. Trade is better when drawn a tick on a chart. Yeah. To be honest with you, the only other 2 platforms I've used is MetaTrader 4 when I started trading with currency, and I've had NinjaTrade now for 3 years, a little over 3 years. So it's all I've really known, actually. And when you spend 3 years trading something, you get to know it pretty well. And obviously trading's a bit stressful without, you know, having to try and learn a new platform at the same time. But I thought I'd get Quantower down and just once in a while over a weekend, just play around with it. You know. So we are finding a bit of support there. So I think we're coming back a little bit. I was hoping we're going to get a leg and a leg, and then maybe look for something down here to push up to this measured leg. But we've had nothing really. Hate that. It was cowardly of me to take 1 point with that big move. Oh well. Okay, so it's trying to hit this leg. Okay, straight through it. So all-time highs up here. Maybe a second leg. It'd be interesting. We had a bounce here and a strong pullback, and then we had another bounce and a strong pullback. So, you know, I've heard Al Brooks say, would you a 10% correction? How true it is or not, but Al Brooks is kind of the foremost experienced sort of price action trader, isn't he? I think. So it's hard to say, but yeah, we've had a bounce here and then a bounce again. So be interesting to see how we react to this all-time highs again. We're not far away, maybe, what, 5 points? Less than that, 3 points. Okay, so touch there, touch off that first swing, fit nice along the top. Right up to the top. We're not far from that measured leg. So 2.5 points. So clearly not a breakout. That's failing. Okay, that's what I like to see at the top of a channel. A few touches and then back a bit. So that leg and a leg clearly played out. So I do see these work a lot of the times, but because we're going into what could be range highs, I often avoid them. Having said that one, there is enough to the tops to take that just for a scalp. If you'd have gone there, if you'd have got in right on the nail, well, maybe not. Even just to take 6 ticks. I kind of had a feeling that it may be pushing up, but that was just a feeling rather than facts. So just left it. But okay, let's see if we can get out of this. And hit all-time highs again. Okay, I like the way that's closed right on the top of that channel again, so it's fitting in the right place. In fact, You may argue there's a small overshoot. I don't know if there is. Okay, we're about a point off all-time highs. Let's see what happens. The last couple of times we've been up there, and there. We've rejected strongly off it, so you'd have to think there'd be some sellers up here. You'd have to, wouldn't you? Especially with that push. We've got to have some sellers, really, at least to get a bit of a pullback. See where you're going to get out of this. If you're holding on this up to here, where you're going to get out? You're going to wait till here, or you're going to get out a little bit early? I'd have gone out down here. I haven't got the balls to hold. So a little double top there. So let's see if that gives us a pullback. Oh, I'm going to continue higher a little bit. Okay, 2 ticks off all-time highs. Tell it light. It's not actually. We've got a little bit more to go than that. It's there. My mistake. We've still got a wee bit to go, but that is pushing out there. I'd say now that may be an overshoot. So I'd like to hit all-time highs, and if it is an overshoot, we may get quite a big rejection. We'll see. So that looks like about a tick away. So we're literally a tick away. So last time we were there, look how strong that was, and look how it came back. And there as well. So he broke that high and came back, broke this high and came back. So, I mean, that's a strong market. So I'd be interested to see whether we absolutely tank after. We know it's really overbought. Al Brooks was saying we're due a big correction. I thought we kind of had part of it end of last week, but would it drop about 90 points, 96 points in a day, something like that, and then took every bit back following day. Okay, smash straight through it now. Let's see if the thing tanks. Okay, that's a pretty good strong bearish bar on it. I mean, if you rode this up, you'd be taking profits here, wouldn't you think? So if you got in back here, this higher low, and you had a runner, you may have done all right out of that if you followed up each swing. So if you'd have had a runner from there, then you'd have followed up that swing, that swing, that swing, that swing, and that swing. Straight away, you're on over 10 points there. And then there. Then after that big push, I mean, look at that. You can ride this right tight now, couldn't you? I'd expect to pull back below this swing now, I will anyway, so I'd squeeze much as I can out of that 15 points. So if you can get a good runner, I don't particularly use them. So many times prices will come, if you take it there, as you've made your points here, you brought your stop to break even, it comes back, takes out your stop, and then rockets up 13 points. I do wonder sometimes whether you're best off just leaving your stop there and waiting to the following swing, and then there is a bit more risk there, but the potential to earn more money in a runner, I think, is probably outweighs, because so many times market kind of knows where the orders are. They know a lot of people will bring stops to break even or break even plus, and that came back, cleared up any possible stops there, and then obviously up it went. That may be an overshoot. We're getting some support here, some resistance here. We're very close to that measured leg. We're above all-time highs now. We're into new territory, so that's fitting quite nice. So that may be an overshoot. Okay. There's that measured leg. Let's, I reckon that's going to be right to the tick. And I can go down a fraction. There we go. That's fine. Well, look at that. Straight up there, measured leg. Wow. So, a nice measured leg played out there. So I wonder if now is when we're going to get our pullback, or is this thing going to keep going straight up? Surely we're going to get some sort of a pullback here. Surely you'd think so. Whether you call that, I mean, it's an overshoot from the bigger channel, it's an overshoot from the smaller channel. So we've had an overshoot there, a little bit of pullback, and pushed up for a new high. So we're into sort of a new territory now. That's strong price action, isn't it? Fed share par speaks in about an hour. Yeah. Usually I'm done around about 5:30. So as I've already taken a trade, I'm up about $900, just over $900 on my account. So that's not a bad start to a Monday. So what I'll probably do is finish about quarter. What time does he finish? Start 5, is it? 5, yeah. So I may finish about 1:45. We'll see. But if I don't take a trade from now on, I'll finish at my normal time, 5:30, have my evening meal for about an hour, and I'll come back. But I'll leave the stream go so you guys can chat amongst yourselves if you need to, or if you want to. Thank you. Chris, how you doing, mate? You well? So really nice, mate. In fact, you could even consider a measured leg from there, really, couldn't you, after this? We got a sort of a break, 2 pushes down to a new low, and that's when it reverses, so you may even do that. There's a bigger correction, isn't there? So we could get a bit higher. Certainly could do. It's not terrible, that'll do for me, mate. Trouble, every time someone asks you that question, we always kind of sound negative. Oh, I'm doing right. Not too bad. Not too bad. Could be better. So. You can answer that so many ways, can't you? So, yeah, after that channel down with the break, 2 pushes to a new low, that's when it's reversed. So I've also tried that for a measured leg as well. Because this thing, that is strong price action. Nice little small bars, slowly grinding up. Quite wicky. So the trouble is, now we're into new territory here. So we really need to sort of build up a bit of structure, don't we? Because we've got nothing to bounce off, or apart from that. Once we bounce there, then we're sort of into new area, aren't we? So it's, where the hell do we go? But yeah, that's a pretty decent move, that is. It's not as big as it looks. Best runner I ever had was 24 points. That was on a sim, though, unfortunately. It's that high or low. You're about down here, are you? See, I don't know what it was. We had this, I had my channel slightly different. I had it there like that, showing the break, and it kind of worked fine. So I thought we've already made a new high. So we had a channel with a break. I got in here on one of these charts. Where was it? I forget where it was now. Was it this one? I think it was this one. Yeah, I got in actually there, because there was a second entry long. And then we had a higher low. So I got in around about here, and then we had that big bearish bar, and I'm thinking this is a trap. It's going to flush down and we're all going to get stopped out. So I got out the trade. I got out for break even. And then we had that second entry long. There's going to be some shorts trapped there and there for certain. So once we got above there, we had a nice strong push. But I don't know. Now I'm trading more accounts. So even though I'm only trading half my accounts, I'm still... when I see a bit of profit, I kind of want to grab it. The trouble is 1 point on one account trading 2 contracts is $100, isn't it? But when you're trading 10 accounts, it's $900. So I've got to stop thinking about the $900 and think about the bigger picture, because the bigger picture is 9 out of 10 of my trades that I take go to full points. So there's no point in taking the risk. My risk never changes. That's the same. So what's the point in taking your 2.5, 3 point risk if you're only going to take a point? You're going to shortchange yourself. Yeah. So I need to just once my accounts get a bit more, grow a little bit. It's been slow going lately because it's stepping up to this next level for me, trading more accounts. So every sort of level you climb, there comes with a fair share of nerves. But as things start to settle, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm pointing upwards in my equity curve. That's the main thing. So I'm not in a rush. I want to get it right. So if it means build up a little bit slow, if it means take a couple of extra points, that's fine. Of course it is. Yeah, it does. Every new level. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago trading an evaluation. I felt like I was on death row. You know what I mean? And then trading 1 PA now doesn't bother me the slightest. There's no nerves there at all. Probably a little bit of apprehension as always, I think. But yeah, I remember watching a trade going up on an evaluation and feeling like my neck was in a vice. It is stressful, yeah. So I think as you climb up these next, level to this level and then the next level, there's a little bit of nerves, and then once you get used to it, you climb to the next level, and it is a journey. I never really understood the word journey until I started to trade, and yeah, it certainly is a journey, isn't it? And when you start making money, as far as I'm concerned, you bloody well damn well deserve it, because it's not easy. It takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of dedication, a lot of money, to get to being a consistently profitable trader, which I believe we can all get there if we just keep going. Keep learning, keep experiencing. I try to look at my losses now as lessons, and they are valuable lessons. So if you are having losses and it's frustrating, you try and take the positive out of them. But what I will say is only ever take trades that you believe to be a trade. Don't just have a go at something for the sake of it. So this channel looks like it's fitting nice now. We're touching the top of it there. We touched the top there. Close enough there. And after this leg down and a break in a new low and a retest, we pushed up, little bounce back, and that's when we we took off. So we're into new all-time highs. We've never been up here before, ever. So I have to keep shifting that up. So I'm going to leave it there and move it up as we go. Yeah, I need to take my full profit. I'd say at probably 5 of the last 7 or 8 trades I've taken, I've got out early, and they would have all gone on to make 2 points. So I am shortchanging myself, really. And you can't, when you take the risk is still the risk. Just because you're taking less profit doesn't mean your risk's going to be less. So I'm shortchanging myself really. I need to take my trade and just leave it. This thing just wants to go higher and higher, doesn't it? So we've had a little triple top there. We've got to get a bit of a pullback here, surely. Not too bad at all, thanks, Bill. How are you, mate? You're Whitchurch, aren't you? Other side of Whitchurch. Have you got rain like we have today again? We've had so much rain lately. I've noticed mushrooms popping up all over the lawn. They kind of like the warm weather and the wet, don't they? I mowed the lawn yesterday in break of the weather and they were everywhere. Not the fun type mushrooms either. Don't know what the hell they are. So yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, it's been rain all day. Yeah, it's miserable, isn't it? Really, it's not the best summer we've had, is it? We had a warm few days, didn't we, about a month ago? And I went out and bought myself one of those air conditioning units. You know, those portable ones for a couple. I don't know, it was 250 quid, I think. I don't use it yet. So I kind of hope it gets warm so I can switch the damn thing on. But yeah, we've had quite a wet summer this year, haven't we? No argument there. So that is fitting rather nice, actually. Okay, so more all-time highs. We're running along the top here. This channel, so this thing could just keep going up. There's a bit of a leg there. We could have another leg. We could get up here. I've done another measured leg right from the reversal on Friday. We had that channel down. However it was. It's probably something like that, I think. So, excuse me a sec. Yeah, we had that channel down there with the brake. 1, 2 pushes down to 0. That's what we reversed. So I had the measured leg from here, but I put a new one there. And to be fair, I don't think it's going to be long before we hit it. That thing is moving up and up and up. All-time highs. I mean, that's a strong market, that is. Look how steep that thing's going. Do you know something? I often say this, and we talk about this. Sometimes these trending days are the toughest, but we've got no excuse there because there was a nice higher low there, and even another one if you wanted to go. But if you'd have got in there on that higher low and ridden this up, you could have been to 20 points here. Sometimes we get these big moves with no real entries. So even on a couple of these other charts, that was much better. Channel down there. There's going to be some shorts in there. Channel down with a break. It's bound to be some shorts there. Some big wicks down. That's what put me off those wicks. But once you get above here, the thing started going there. So if you'd put your stop to break even here, once you got your points, came back, took out your stop, and then we've been moving up and up and up. But if you'd have followed up each swing, sometimes you can just get a bit lucky and it just goes in your direction and up nice, and doesn't often go up that sharp, does it? So these highs are just getting higher and higher. So I'm going to finish. Powell is only speaking, so I don't expect fireworks. Sometimes we may get a move, but I don't expect fireworks. But I still don't like trading when he's doing it, so I'm going to finish in about 10 minutes before. Nothing's going to happen before, so. Trouble is, really, with the exception of here, we haven't come back to that EMA yet. No, that's strong. We've had pullbacks here and here and here, but it hasn't come quite close to this EMA. Have you tried putting some your payout money into a personal account? Yeah, I'm in an hurry about that, mate. I did say I wanted to put 5,000 of my own money in there, but I've just forked out 12,000 this morning for a bloody car. We needed to update the car, so I bought a couple-of-year-old Vauxhall Grand Landex, just like a little SUV. I was 55 a month ago, so I took a piece of my pension. Out of my pension, I ended up with about 47,000, which I took a chunk of my personal pension, a private pension I had. So we wanted to just upgrade the car, get a new, new suite, new bed and stuff like that, a few other bits. And the plan was to put 5,000 into my own account. But they actually absolutely stung me 40% on the tax. Apparently it's common they do that because, if all of a sudden someone's got 50 grand, they might think it's a month's wage, so they tend to sting you 40%. So I'm waiting for about 10,000 back, or just under 10,000 back on tax. So I may put 5,000. I always wanted to wait till I stopped revenge trading before I could put any of my own money in. And what I might do is just trade. What I'd like to do is try and swing trade it a little bit and maybe just trade 2 or 3 micros. But I am starting to look at bigger pictures and legs and identify areas, because the beauty of trading your own money is I can put an order in here and it doesn't matter if it comes back as many times. There's no drawdown issues, so I can maybe risk $30 here and then maybe sort of, follow each swing. So I'd like to try and do something like that. I am reading up a little bit about these fair value gaps and how they work, and a lot of it makes sense. So I may do that. But I don't know how I feel about trading at the same time as these. I don't know, is there any issues? Because you're trading with live data. So I'm going to have to look into it a bit more, just get a bit of advice. But do I use the live data? Have I still got to have rhythmic? I don't quite know how they work together. So that's probably what I'd like to do. And as I start to take money out of Apex, I do want to start top, because that's the plan, to build up my own pot and then to trade it throughout the the next 10 or 20 years or whatever, and then use whatever I got for whatever lump sum I end up having for a part pension or something like that. Just build a nice lump sum and take some profit, add to it, take some, add to it, and, keep it growing. That's the plan. So this thing, look how it's hugging the top of that. There's no hint of it coming down, is there? When it hits here a few times, I'd be thinking you wouldn't want to go long here or here or here, would you? But look, it's still going. We've got a bit of a pullback, haven't we? Surely, mind you, that is very strong. Look how low that ATR is. Sometimes when the ATR drops and we get a really slow grind, it's a really strong market, but we had to have that pullback, didn't we? Trouble is, there's no way in there. The only way to trade that really is if you've got a trade here and you've got profit, is to add to it maybe. Okay, I think that was a given, wasn't it? We needed a bit of a pullback there. It's getting, where'd you stop buying? It's getting risky and risky to buy there, isn't it? We're into new territory there. At some point we got to come back. It's the first time we've been back to that A Masons here. So from what? That's about 3:30, so for over an hour. So we've smashed all-time highs by about, what, 2, 4, 6, 8, about 10 points. We broke all-time highs a little bit there. So are we going to have, after that big strong pull, are we going to have a big pullback? We did there. We had a pullback, a few legs up, and then another big drop. Same again, previous before there. Where was it? So that one and that one, another big pullback. So I think it's likely we may get the same. That's looking like we went up there last time. Very similar. If you look there, very, very similar sort of price action, and then a big pullback followed by a couple of attempts to go higher, a little bit of sideways, and then another big drop. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the same. I'm certainly not in the market to go long just at the moment. So clearly broken all-time highs. Big strong move down. So I'd expect I mean, there's a small break here, but I'd expect a slightly larger one. So the last time, what happened? What happened there? So that thing went up and up and up, broke all-time highs, made a few attempts, and then just tanked. I can't see a break there. That fits quite nice. So after that big strong push up and all-time highs, I'm not going to automatically assume we're going to push up and make a new high, because I don't think we will. A leg and a leg. We may make it a leg and a leg up, and that could turn into something like that. 2 legs down, a couple of legs up, trap some longs, thinking we're going to make a new high, and then come down for a second leg. That's usually the way things happen. We had the same thing there. Came down for a leg and another leg. It's going to be longs in there. Some longs there maybe. High or low, pushed up, came down, trapped them. So I think a leg down with turn into some sort of a channel, but longs for me are off the cards just at the moment. Especially, I know we've had a channel. A lot of times we do make a break and a new high, but as we've hit all-time highs, I'm not thinking about long now. I'm thinking about trapping longs. So let's have a wee look at this. Hmm. So yeah, I'm not automatically assuming new highs. We never did it there. Very strong move up, broke new highs from the previous highs there, and then a big reversal. Same thing there. That was news, obviously induced, but lovely tight channel there. Break, no new high. Same again, lovely tight channel, very strong. I don't think we're going to get a new high here. This thing's coming down for me, or at least for a decent pullback. So I'd expect something like that. Maybe. I'm just not thinking about longs at all. So channel, depending on how you look at it, break new low, maybe break their new low. So I'm not thinking about shorts just yet because I expect it to have a go at all-time highs. But yeah, if you look back, just as nice channel, we came back and we did push up. So I'm not automatically thinking about going short here, because if you'd have gone short there, something like that, you'd have got stopped out. So I like to give it a bit of a chance to try and make a new high. Second entry short there, but one, it's congested too. That's a million miles from the EMA, so I'd expect that to get stopped out. If I took that short, depends. After that big push up, it may just tank. But for me, that would be a very risky trade to go short, because one, it's sideways, but it looks like it's working, and two, it's just too far for that EMA. Although it looks like it's working. Let me see if there's something larger there. Actually, that channel there fits much better, I think. So break new low. Yeah, it's congested there. You can see there's a little box around that. So that's definitely a no-go area for me. Just because it worked is irrelevant. But after that big push up, you at least think it'd have a go, and that to me is just not a good enough, not good enough of a push. But yeah, how bearish does this look all of a sudden? Maybe it's a leg and we have another go. So anyway, at the moment we've had that. Let's say there with a small break. And small break, new low. This was Friday, wasn't it, this? Yeah, I don't think this is going to make a new high personally. I'd say I think it's more likely to do something like that personally. It's just a rough guesstimate after that very strong move like that. All-time highs. This has just come down too far. That struggled. I would have thought that it got stopped out. So for me, I'm not expecting this thing to get nowhere near the all-time highs. Could be completely wrong. See if we get a triple test. Okay, so this is it. Let's see if we do get up higher. So Friday we pulled back and we had a couple of attempts. Came back, went sideways and then dropped. So a big strong move, new all-time highs. Very similar, big strong move, all-time highs. Let's see how far we get up. What time is it? 20 minutes. So let's just be aware of that news. Where's my news thingy gone? Here it is. Let's not forget that. So what I'd like to see here is this first attempt to come back and a second attempt that fails. And then I will consider that then as likely not pushing higher. So okay, I'm going to take a punt and just say, let's see if that, see what that does. I like having these little, call them educated guesses just to see if I'm thinking along the right lines. They don't always work, but I just like the way it works very nicely at the bottom. So this is interesting. So we've got on this chart here, which is the top left one, we've got a channel with a break. The bullish bar. Technically, we've already had a break and a new high, but I'm not getting involved here because I don't know. We've had a very, very strong market and we've hit all-time highs, so I wouldn't want to get into this trade. I'm not saying it won't work, but to me, I'm just... I just don't have a rosy feeling about this. See if that one gets stopped out. Yeah, I thought as much. Well, it has done on there. It hasn't done on the one up top yet. But this just to me looks... I don't know. I have a feeling this thing's just going to reverse. So that got stopped out on that chart. I had a feeling it might do. I like where the bar is. Any first entry. I'm just not a massive fan of what I'm seeing at the moment. And this may be a bigger correction. But for me, just based on this, so I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, a correction. But just based on what I saw there after that very similar move, it just completely reversed. We made one attempt to go higher, then a second attempt, so I like to give it a couple of attempts. So now we're down to a very similar level that we were. Let's see if we have another attempt. But I'll be surprised if we get to new highs. See, for me, that's fit lovely there. There have been some longs there, guaranteed. So we pushed strong above the EMA. We came back to the EMA. Nice bullish bar, triggered, stopped out. What does that tell you? Tells you, I think, it's going to struggle to get up. Normally, after a break, we've got a channel down with a break and a new low. Normally, what you want is a strong push up and then a second entry long. I mean, well, it's only a first entry, that is, but normally when it's close to the EMA like that, if it's going to push up, it would have done. But the way it trapped that and came down strong tells me. So if you look at here, after that first attempt, we came slightly lower there. and we've done exactly the same, so I'd expect it to have another attempt to push up, which I expect to fail. We had almost identical move there, so if I put that channel there, I mean, look, it's almost identical. So I expect to push up and then a full out reversal then. I think if it was going to break new highs, we'd have held above that EMA. The fact it came down like a rocket tells me we're not going to get up there. I think there may be a break here as well. We've had these two touches here and we've come down, but we've only come down to about the same level, so which we did exactly the same there, slightly lower, and then we had a few little pushes and then full out reversal. There is always the possibility of a little range. Let's put that there. But I'd like it to not get above that level, not close above that level. So there's always a possibility we could range a bit. If we do range a bit, then it's got more chance of going up then. So there is always a possibility of something larger. But I'd like one attempt, second attempt, and then followed by, so a leg down, 2 attempts to go higher, and for it to fail and come down. So leg and a leg, leg, 2 legs up and down. So leg down, 2 attempts higher, and then a failure. But if it's going to continue lower, for me, we need a break here. We have got that news coming up though, so, well, let's say news, Powell speaking, so sometimes you get a little bit of volatility, but it doesn't seem to make a massive effect. But yeah, a few of the traders think it's going to make a new high. I don't. I think the best we'll get is a touch at this or close to it. Okay, so leg with a break. I'd like to have another leg that for me is not a decent enough attempt to go long. As we've only come down here, see, I'd like to push up, but that looks like it's on its way down. Leg, break, leg. We need that to push up above there, really. Go on, get up. Okay, so leg and a leg up. That's what I'd like to see. Which would take us to about there. And if we can fail around here, then I'd expect this to come down lower than this. Lower high there. I still don't like it. I'd like that to trigger and to make another attempt. I don't like the fact that this has only come down to here, so I'd like to see that bearish bar trigger and to push up. Or just push up, either one or two. Price is going slow now. I'm assuming that's to do with I don't know why if he's talking. So what I like is that bearish bar there is triggered. So because that's done that and hasn't come down the bottom, it's losing downward momentum. So we need a break. So we've got to push up, a little pullback, trap some shorts and push back up. So for me, there'll be liquidity above that bar and that bar. So I'd like to break both of those, which would give us our second attempt higher. It may not. Depends. I mean, this may be mega bearish now because of this, but I'd like to see that bar stopped out and possibly even that bar. That would give us a leg up, two legs back and another leg up. Technically a second entry short on the bigger picture, but two attempts to go higher. That's if it does it. If it doesn't break above those, then we'll see some more downward stuff, in my opinion. So that will be my first stop and possibly the second one there. So there and then there. I'd expect that price to get up to both of there. But it could be a second entry short if it's strong enough or bearish enough, but I still think that'll get stopped out. Possibly that one. There's liquidity there, definitely, but I wouldn't be thinking about going short there when we only get so far down. If we pull from here, then I'll take that. But we've only come so far down, just below that midline, so for me, That's a dangerous trade, and possibly that as well. I'd like to see a proper correction, really, which would give us then leg down, one attempt to higher, second attempt to go higher would hopefully then give us some momentum downwards. I can't see this now making a new high. It's always possible, but if you look at the last couple of times, it's complete. We've had such a nice strong trade. It's absolutely reversed. Big star. So there's the first one gone. I need that second one to go. There we go. Probably above there as well, because if I was taking that, my stop will probably go one tick above there, so I'd expect another tick at least. Yeah, okay, so that's cleared up that liquidity. There'll be some there. Now, if this is going to make a move to the upside, it'll target these areas. But in all honesty, I just don't think it's got the legs to get there. So leg down, 2 attempts to go higher for me. I think I'd like to say this is as far as this is going to go up just at the moment. Or no higher than here. And if it does, then maybe it'll get up. But for me, I don't think it's likely. Okay, so Powell is speaking. Just under a minute. Well, he's down to speak in just under a minute, whether he will or not. Hey, Edward, how you doing? How you doing, bud? Okay, so 2 legs up. That will be the measured leg, so I don't really want it to go any higher than that, really. Having said that, there is a possibility we could go sideways, but I'd like to see 2 attempts to go higher, followed by a failure, pushing strongly through the AMA. So both those bits of liquidity there and there have gone now. And that's looking kind of nice. Fell second entry short. Yeah, I wouldn't be thinking about taking long trades at the moment. This to me is quite clear. See, what I'll say is, looking at, we've got a nice fitting channel there. We had an even better fitting channel there, and it reversed, but it broke all-time highs. And then if you go back again, same there. Strong push up. A lot of that was fuel based, broke all-time highs and reversed. So second entry short, that failed just now. Yeah, I wouldn't be going short just yet either. I'd like to see this push down, first attempt to go higher. I'd like to see another attempt. Whether it's broken down into 2, that's fine. So I wouldn't be thinking about going short, because it may get right to here. There's always a possibility it will push up, but I don't think it will. We've had 2 stronger, steeper moves down to me. So I think this will come down. Whether it'll get to this measured leg, getting fed up with Apex now. I'm not allowed to trade today. There is something wrong with Trader. Yeah, I did here. What I will say, Edward, is there was some emails going around on Friday that they're updating their systems and changing a few things. So I think it's very likely. So I think this is going to come down now. So I think it's likely we should hopefully have some improvements. So fingers crossed, mate. But they do say they're working on their systems to try and improve things. So let's just hope it works, eh? Because they must be fed up with all these issues as well. I think it was a Karina that mentioned that they're on about changing their data provider. I think they need to. It's just too unstable. You can't have traders trading 20 accounts that they've paid $2,500 for getting blown because of the software's not working. Why wouldn't you look at the second entry short? Okay, so my thoughts are here. We've got a very strong trade upwards, and we've clearly smashed all-time highs. So I expect this to reverse now. Where's the second entry short? There's no second entry short there. Let's have a look. Not on my chart. There's one there, second entry short there. But like I said, when we come down to the bottom of the channel, we push back at the top. I'll take one up here. But we've come down now. Yeah, we've come down there and we've bounced here. So that tells me we're going to have a break. So I expect one leg and a second leg. The second entry short I can see is there. Yeah, there's one second entry short there, but we haven't made a second leg then. So that for me is going to get stopped out. So, so there's your first entry. There's your second. So there's the only second entry short there. That's a third entry. So that one for me was always going to get trapped. I mentioned it. If you remember, I put a line here and a line here to get stopped out. Yeah. Market likes to work in twos. What I'll say is whenever you get a channel down like that, if it doesn't get to the bottom of the channel, it's losing downward momentum. And 9 times out of 10 when it does that, it has a break. So if you look back on my video, I saw this lower high here. So I said that for me is going to get stopped out. And I put another line up here as well for that. And the market pushed up. So we've had 2 legs down. Yeah. So, it's very tempting that, but it's 12 ticks. So for me, this market is reversing. I just don't want to get into 12 ticks on the news. But I do expect this market to reverse. So yeah, whenever we don't come down to the bottom, we're losing momentum. And in most cases, we'll get a break. And we've got a break in the way of 1 leg, 2 leg, which is why I put those. We didn't quite get right to the top, but it's irrelevant, really. Sometimes we don't. So whenever that happens and we don't get down there, don't get suckered into taking shorts there because they'll trigger you most of the time and stop you out. Right, possible second entry long here. I'd like to get a trap here. It's 30 minutes late, is it? It's 12 ticks there. I don't want to risk that much. It is. I like the bar. I think it's likely we're going to break the lows. But I was hoping for a little bit more of a pullback. That's going to get stopped out. And there as well, I think. So 2 legs up. Lower high. I think it'll work, but I don't want to risk that much. So 2 points I'd want there. So there you go. So that worked out. Oh, well, I just didn't want to risk that much there, to be fair. 12 ticks. Marco took it. Yeah, you clearly see that 2 legs, can't you? And then a lower high. It's just a little bit too much risk for me, but it clearly worked. Took it as what? That there, lower high. So we got 2 legs up and then a lower high. Push below the EMA, lower high. There'll be some longs down here, buying that for sure, because there's going to be traders still thinking we're going to make a new high, but in my opinion, we're not. So we get 2 legs up. As that pushes up, you're going to get traders jumping in here. Then we push down. Second entry long there. More traders thinking we're going to push high. So what happens? It triggers them, comes straight down and stops them out. Once we get so far down, market is going to pick off that liquidity. So it's likely. My only slight concern was the size of the bar, really. And the fact that we got this news. So that's making me a little bit nervous as well. There may even be a spike in a channel here. Let's put it there. But for me, we're not pushing up and making a new high. Not after such a strong move and all-time highs. It's going to bounce off here. It did exactly the same as there, monumentally. And the same again back there. I mean, look, we get right up to new highs, really strong, and then it just rockets back in the opposite direction. So it's done it the last 2 times, so it makes... makes sense. Just a lower high, yeah. But after 2 legs up, what made that a little bit better as well is when we broke above there. But I just wanted it to come back a little bit more. But yeah, this for me, this market's reversing. So there's still going to be traders thinking it's going to push up. I don't believe it is. This is too strong of a move down. Strong move up followed by a really strong move down. But we've only got, if I get rid of this, we've only got so far down in this channel, which tells me we're going to have a break. So I expect 2 legs up. So that's going to get eaten off. Mate, I can't tell you how many times I'd have been trapped in trades like that. But you get used to just knowing when something doesn't look right. And that, to me, is clearly some support. We haven't got to the bottom, so I expect a break of this channel. And anything above the top of the channel line is a break, so that's sitting below it. So for me, that was going to get eaten out, and that as well. Market likes to move towards liquidity. There'll be liquidity there and there. Once we get above there, that for me is quite a strong bar. So it didn't touch it before it reverses. But yeah, lower high. But it's giving you all the right signals. My only slight concern was it was, 1, the news, and 2, the size of the signal bar. It's 12 ticks. Tick above, tick below. I'll be risking $3,500 on that. If we get a spike in the news, I'll be kicking myself. Marco took him. Good on him, though. Good on him. But yeah, 2 clear legs up, and then it starts to reverse. Yeah, see, there was no lower high on here. Having said that, there was a nice second entry short there. Well, technically it wasn't because of this, but a visual's 2 legs up. I always like to wait for it to push below, so there was no setup on here, no setup on here, but a nice setup there. So that's the beauty of having multiple charts. You've got 3 chances to get a decent bar. Yeah, look how different these are. Look, this is congested, that's congested. This is not as bad. Lower high following a break. I have a new channel, expecting new low. But I guarantee you there'll be traders, excuse me, looking to go long here. Strong move straight above the EMA. There'll be traders buying that. It wasn't a fantastic signal bar on here, but on others it wasn't too bad. But stops you, comes back down. I always try and look for second entries regardless of context. Mate, context is more important than second entries, I'll tell you that now. Regardless, no. The second entry adds... Yeah, I'll tell you something, mate. Oh, this thing's dropping. Look, is that something to do with him speaking? Yeah. Context is everything. It's more important than second entries. It really is. If you see this bar here, see we come up there. There's a second entry short there. It worked, but you wouldn't take that because we're an uptrend. But yeah, context is everything. That's not what I said. Okay. Look for second entries regardless of context. The second entry adds more confluence. It worked there. Yeah. But I think what helped here was long traders getting trapped. Especially there as well, that lower high. It's always nice to trap them, and when that comes down, you know you're kind of working in the right direction. There's just 2 things put me off that. 1, the news was about happening, and 2, it was a slightly large signal bar. So a tick above it, tick below it. That's about 3.25 points, isn't it? Yeah, so I'll be risking $3,250 on that. And when I know the news is just out, you don't know whether you're going to get any type of sort of spark. Excuse me a sec. Let's have a look. So, let me have a look at this. So, yeah, last time we almost did the identical thing. We pushed up, we had 2 legs back, 2 attempts to go higher. So 2 legs back, 2 attempts to go higher, and then it caved, which looks like this is doing. It did exactly the same the time before. We had that strong move up, we came back, we had a break out of it, new low, 2 attempts to go higher, and then a full out reversal. So this may turn into something a little bit steeper. Something like so yeah, it's always nice to see them work, but I don't know, the trouble is when you get that news, you don't know whether sometimes there may be a bit of a spike, but I am getting more and more confident trading when Powell's speaking. What I try to do is watch him, so when he's been asked questions, you're kind of safe to trade, but when he's talking, I kind of want to hold on a bit, not trade. I think this likely come down steeper. I'd say there, but this it seems to be opening up a little bit, so I think this is going to come down at a steeper angle. It's had the pull back and the obligatory 2 attempts to go higher, so for me, the longs have given up, and this is a down moving market, I think, for the moment. What time are we? Coming up 3 hours. I think I'm going to finish in a minute. I don't like trading when he's talking. In fact, I'm going to knock it on the head there, folks. So 1 trade today, should have gone for a bit more points. Very tempted with that one. I was relatively confident the setup was good, especially after 2 legs up. Clearly working on this line. But when the news happens, you don't know whether something's going to go wrong and you're going to regret it. If I took something and something went wrong because of the news, I'd just kick myself. So I left it in the end, and it was quite a large risk, larger than normal. Well, the ATR's gone up, actually. It did go down as low as 160, but I didn't want to risk $3,200 on that one, although it worked nicely. So there you go. So 1 trade up just under $1,000. well, $1,000 minus fees. So I should have held up for the 2 there, but I'm getting in the right direction now. I'm getting more comfortable with trading more contracts. I mean, I'd like to trade more accounts. I'd like to trade the full 20, but I just can't trust Rhythmic at the moment. But if they sort these data issues out, then I've got no problem with trading all 20 of them. So there you go. If you carry on trading, best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Just keep an eye on that news. But this market's not moving too bad today. There is some setups. There was clearly one there. I think it was a nice setup. It was just the news that put me off that one. There was another setup here as well, which I left because of going long. But I don't think that's a bad setup. There is a bit wicky, but I think that's okay. And it continued on up. So the trade there as well. Same again. Second entry there. I mean, that was a tiny bar there. So there are some trades around today. You may have even taken that one, 2 legs down and a higher low, trapping some shorts. See, I initially had it like that, so we had a break and a new high. So there's going to be some shorts there for sure. And it triggered them, finished there. So I think there's a fair. So there is some trades around today. So the week's not started too bad, actually. But there you go. So if you're carrying on trading, best of luck. Failing that, I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have as good a day tomorrow. So I'll leave you there. So have a great evening. Stay safe. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.